Sometimes cops go beyond the law, but mess with those far above them and don't even realize it will have such unpredictable consequences. This you've gotta see. So let's get started. In this footage, the encounter captures a tense exchange between an individual, referred to as Russell, and two detectives from the San Jacinto County Sheriff's Department in Sam Houston National Forest. The detectives respond to a call about a suspicious person camping in the area. Russell asserts his rights and refuses to provide identification, citing his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination and Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable searches and seizures.
Y'all aren't suspecting me of a crime at this point, right?
No, sir. It's just suspicious activity. That's the reason.
Right, and so I have to identify myself because somebody called y'all? Is what y'all are saying?
Well, this is kind of suspicious. I mean, like the lieutenant said,
So-
we would cover a lot
So if you find something to be suspicious, I am forced to surrender my Fourth Amendment right. Do you know what the Constitution says about my Fourth Amendment right?
Yes, sir.
What does it say?
Well,
Do you know what the Constitution says about the Fourth Amendment?
yes, sir.
You know
I
what
do.
the
I'm not here to violate
Bill of
anybody's
Rights?
Okay.
You are if you're saying I have to provide my ID without having broken any laws.
Okay. Well, we'll lieutenant's gonna handle all that. We'll let him talk to you about that. Okay.
I didn't know that. I thought I had a Fourth Amendment right in this country.
Everybody does.
I don't know who needs to talk to me about whether or not I have to surrender my person, papers, and effects because they got a phone call.
Throughout the encounter, Russell challenges the detectives' authority, questioning the legality of their investigation without any evidence of a crime being committed. He argues that they have no reasonable suspicion to detain him, and he expresses frustration that his rights are seemingly being violated. The detectives attempt to justify their presence by mentioning past incidents of stolen property in the area and insisting that they are simply trying to verify his purpose for being there. The conversation becomes contentious as Russell questions the detectives about their understanding of the Constitution and the principles of American law. He also highlights his distrust of law enforcement, comparing their actions to those in Nazi Germany. Despite the detectives' attempts to explain their procedures and background, Russell remains steadfast in his refusal to cooperate.
All right, so Forestry Service was actually out here, which, I mean, you don't have to tell me they made contact with you or not, but they're going to be coming by to check by with you tomorrow, possibly. You can stay out here for 14 days, but they had ran into you a couple weeks ago at a different location here,
Right.
not far from here. So anyway.
It's their jurisdiction anyways, ain't it?
Yes, sir, it was.
He told me I'm being detained right now. Is that correct?
Well, you're not under arrest or anything, but yes.
Am I being detained?
Right, yes,
Lawfully
sir.
detained?
And that's with us just questioning you
And
on why
doesn't
you're out
it
here.
say about detaining people that you got to have a reasonable,
I gave you that reason.
articulable
I gave you that.
suspicion of a crime?
Yes, sir, and I
What's
gave you
the
all
crime,
that.
sir?
So I gave you all that, but anyway,
No,
they're
you
gonna
haven't
come
given me
follow.
one
They're gonna
crime.
come follow
I've
up with
asked
you
and
out
asked,
here. I didn't
and
say
no
you
one gave
committed
me
a
a
crime.
crime.
We told you. He told you.
That's
and I told
not
you.
reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime. You can't detain me.
Okay. Well, I told you while we were
Okay,
out
what?
here.
You
I
can
told-
detain me
I
for
told
no
you
reason?
while we were out here, and that's why we were out here. And I have followed
Sir,
up with
this
the
is
Forestry
being
Service.
sloppy about your job. You got to learn how to do your job the right way.
Okay, I
It's
sure will.
2023.
I
It's
sure will.
important
Yes, sir.
to have
You're
RAS
absolutely right.
of an actual
You're
crime
absolutely right.
before you detain
You're
someone.
absolutely right. Okay. So you have a good evening, sir. Try to stay dry.
You have a good day as well.
Take care, sir.
The encounter ends with the detectives eventually deciding to leave, acknowledging that the jurisdiction of the forest lies with the Forest Service. They inform Russell that a Forest Service officer may visit him the next day. The footage concludes with Russell expressing his relief at their departure and commenting on the rainy weather before ending the recording. In this footage, a person is recording an encounter with the Homestead Police Department in America. The police were responding to a suspected burglary and approached the person at his home. Right from the beginning, the person says he won't answer any questions, citing his Fifth Amendment right, which protects individuals from self-incrimination.
You live here with who?
I'm not answering any questions.
Bingo. You're not answering any questions?
Nope. Not answering
Cool.
any questions.
Can you sit down for me right there, real quick? Who else is in the house?
Any units at a station,
Okay, that's cool.
respond
Sit
to the
down.
lobby, reference a delivery.
What did I do?
You're being detained at this point. You
Okay,
need to sit
for what-
down.
for what reason?
You need to sit down. That's all we're asking.
Okay.
Sit down. That's
Just
all
sit.
we're asking. I'm
For
not
what
taking you to
reason?
jail.
just
I'm putting
sit.
handcuffs. I'm telling you to sit down.
For what reason?
That's it. I'll explain
We'll
it to
tell you
you.
in a minute.
But the same way you're not answering questions, I don't have to answer anything. We're all on this.
Okay.
The same way you don't want to answer questions, give me a second. I'll answer when I want to.
Awesome. Okay.
Where are we at with this?
He doesn't want to answer any questions. He came out. I said, who do you live with? He said, I'm not answering any questions.
The situation quickly escalates as the police become rude and condescending. They try to question him, but he continues to assert his right not to answer. The police claim they are conducting an investigation, but the person insists they have no reason to be there without a warrant. The police become agitated and threaten to arrest him if he doesn't comply.
And that's illegal. And I'm being detained for that.
Did I say that?
But what am I being detained for?
I don't have to answer your question.
You have to tell me. If I'm being detained, you have to tell me.
No, I don't. That's
I'll
the
put you
great
in
thing.
handcuffs. Do you want that? And I'll put you in the back of the car. You can sit there and relax.
Calm down.
All right? I don't know where you think you at or what you're running. Sit there. If you want to shut up, shut up. Do you understand? I already raised it. I already raised it.
And that's illegal. And I'm being detained for
Did
that.
I say that?
But what am I being detained for?
We conducted an
You have to tell me. If I'm being detained, you have to tell me what I'm being detained for.
I'll put you in
Of
handcuffs.
course
Do
you
you
do.
want that? I'll put you in the back of the car. You can sit there and relax. Calm down. All right? I don't know where you think you at or what you're running. Sit there. If you want to shut up, shut up.
You don't need to
Do you understand? I already raised it. I already raised it.
Because I'm not being disrespectful.
Okay. You said you wanted to shut up, right?
I just want to know
Didn't
what
you
I'm
say
being
that?
detained for.
I told you.
You said you're
And investigating a burglary. That's it.
So
What are you confused about?
Am I suspicious about?
Yes.
Am I suspicious about
Why do you think
for
why do you think you're detained?
For what reason?
Because you're in the video.
So you have reason or particular suspicion that I committed this crime.
Later in the footage, the person is pulled over by the police again at a shopping center. They continue to question him and express suspicion despite finding out he is innocent. The person remains adamant about exercising his rights and refuses to engage further with the police. The person recording the video is critical of the police's behavior, claiming they were quick to assume guilt without evidence and treated him unfairly. The police defend their actions, stating that they were trying to get information about the burglary case. Let's look into this interesting video footage involving a guy and 4 police officers. The situation begins with the fact that the police literally breaks into the doorstep of this guy's house, which already violates the Fourth Amendment right. The man is trying his best to refute the cops' actions toward him, which is fair enough.
Ain't no kids in here. I need you to take your foot from the door, bro. Nah, and there's no kids in here. I'm telling you, there's no kids in here.
Why should I believe you?
Nah, I don't care what you're saying, man. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to those guys. Ask her. Listen, ask her. Ask her, man, my man. But at the end of the day, I didn't call you, my man.
How old is your
You're trying. Listen, you're trying to lead the situation. There's no situation for you to lead, young man. Listen, peace out, my dude. You got your foot in the door. There's nobody here. I know somebody called. You gotta come and do. You gotta do what you gotta do. I'm telling you that it ain't nothing.
And I'm trying to be respectful with you.
All right, that's good. There's nothing going on. There's no kids in here, bro.
Down here.
There's no kids in here, bro.
All right.
There's no kids in here.
How old is she?
I don't know. Ask her. Ask her.
Is she less than 18? To the best of your knowledge, she's less than 18 years
I
old.
don't know.
How do you not know? How is she?
I don't know.
How,
Listen,
how
because
is
it's
she
not. Because I don't have to conform with you. Because you've got your foot in the door.
Sir, if you give us
and
an
nobody
idea,
else. Listen, I'm giving you all the information I can give you. If you ask me the question, I'll give it to you, right? But you're standing up in the door like this because you want to take it. Them guys was like, yo, you know what? And they was ready to go and go back doing what they're doing.
This is my zone.
All right, it's your zone. So what's up? Talk to me. All right, you want to talk about? So,
The officer, on the other hand, stands his ground, explaining that they were dispatched for a domestic call involving a juvenile. He wants to ensure everyone's safety and attempts to gather more information from the person about the situation. As the conversation continues, the person's emotions rise, and he insists that nothing is going on and that the police are not needed. He emphasizes that it's his residence and he pays for it, asserting his rights and autonomy.
So, routinely for a domestic call, whether it is or not, we get dispatched for a domestic involving a juvenile.
We ain't no juvenile.
Right, but I'm saying with the information we were given. So this is what I'm telling you. This is the information we were given. I'm not saying you said it, and I'm not saying there is. All right? So you said it was a third-party caller. I don't know who the caller is. I see a female come out, and you're not giving me much information about her.
Throughout the conversation, the guy maintains a sense of frustration, but he's trying to remain calm and respectful towards the officers. He expresses his desire for them to leave, stating that there's no reason for them to be on his property. He emphasizes that everyone is safe and there's no need for their assistance. The police insist on their standard procedures, citing the initial call about a domestic involving a juvenile. The guy stands firm, asserting that there are no kids in his place and everything is under control.
They called you here because that's what women do. So now, don't try to create a narrative, Jesky.
Right.
What you should do is take your foot from the door, right? Hold on, I'm not going to close the door on you. Take your foot from the door, though. There you go. Now, let's relax with Pep. What's up, fellas?
So I can't go based off of what I've always...
What is it that you need?
Right.
Tell me what you need.
Routinely, like I told you,
Okay.
we usually go inside the residence and
No, you're not coming
go
in
out.
here. You don't need to come because
All
ain't
right.
nobody in here.
I'm not going to force
We're
my-
moving.
I'm not
Listen,
gonna force
we're
myself.
getting ready to move. Shit is all over the place, but you don't need to come in here. I'm telling you.
Right.
This is my residence. This is where I pay
So
rent
who-
at. Hold on, Jesse. I pay
Who's running
rent
the show here, me or you?
I'm running the show.
No, you're not.
That's a fact. I'm running the show because this is where I pay rent at. That's a fact.
Okay.
This
So
is my
we
shit.
got called here.
I'm a grown ass. That's fine.
All
But
I
I didn't
know, who
call
that
you.
female is?
But listen,
Who was the
I didn't-
female?
I told
Who
you
was
who
the
she
female?
was
Who
already.
was the
He
female?
asked me, was that my wife's daughter, right? And I said it was.
What's fascinating is how the guy tries to impart some life lessons amidst the tension. He emphasizes the importance of patience and respect in their line of work, encouraging the officers to approach situations more thoughtfully. Despite the stressful circumstances, the guy's street-smart demeanor shines through, and he tries to keep things real while asserting his rights and defending his privacy. Eventually, the police come to realize that everything is indeed fine, and they back off. But the guy reminds them to be righteous in their actions. In the end, they part ways with a somewhat uneasy understanding. The footage serves as a reminder of how communication and respect can help de-escalate tense situations, even when emotions are running high. In this footage, we witness a clash between an independent journalist and the Department of Transportation. The journalist, armed with a camera and a determination to gather content for a story, enters the public building to document how people are treated when they visit. However, what starts as a peaceful gathering of information quickly escalates as employees and visitors confront the journalist about his activities.
This is public. You can't ask me to leave. I have business here.
I just asked you if you did.
I don't have business with you.
I can help you take care of whatever you
You
need.
can't help me with my business.
So, I guess what's your business here?
This is my business here.
Going around taking pictures.
I'm simply taking pictures and video. What's the problem?
Because people have asked you not to do this.
They can ask all they want. I don't have to do it because they ask. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not breaking any laws.
People feel
I'm not breaking any laws. If you think I'm breaking a law,
Despite the tension, the journalist remains composed, asserting his right to be on public property and film without interference. He stands his ground, refusing to leave when asked by the employees, who are unfamiliar with someone exercising their First Amendment rights. As the situation unfolds, the journalist expertly navigates the conversation, highlighting that he's not breaking any laws and that he's within his rights as an independent journalist to document public spaces. He challenges the idea of being trespassed from a public property and effectively points out that public buildings are open to everyone.
Do you have reasonable articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed? If not, then 10-8, man.
Are you not trespassing?
No, you can't trespass on public property, and you can't trespass me from this property unless I've committed a crime. Isn't that correct?
No.
That is correct.
No.
That is correct. You cannot trespass me from public property unless I've committed a crime.
Would a private building be public property?
How is the Iowa DOT a private building? This is open to the public.
Are you allowed in here at any given time?
Yes, it's open to the public. Did you not hear what I just said?
But the sign out here just says it's...
That's a policy, and you're law enforcement, not policy enforcement.
Okay.
Throughout the video footage, the journalist maintains a professional demeanor, even when faced with threats and attempts to intimidate him. He acknowledges that he's not interested in interviewing anyone, as he prefers to gather content independently. Despite the confrontations, he sticks to his purpose of documenting the treatment of visitors to the building. When law enforcement arrives, the journalist continues to defend his actions, and they engage in a discussion about trespassing in public property. The police officer seems to understand the complexity of the situation and the journalist's stance.
You can't remove me from public property unless I've committed a... What is your reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime?
No, there's no crime that has to be had.
Okay, so how...
So they can run the business how they want
he
to.
said trespass. He said trespass.
Right.
How can I get trespassed from a public property?
It happens every day. We trespass people every day, put them in our computer.
Yeah, you trespass people every day from public property?
Day, yes.
How do you justify that?
That's how it works.
Okay, so if you trespass a journalist for gathering content for a story, you think that's okay? I did not engage in conversation with anyone. They engaged me. All I did was walk around quiet until they addressed me. Then I turned to talk to them. And then, so the person that was causing the disturbance is the people that were addressing me. If they would have sat there quietly while I exercised my First Amendment protected activity, then there wouldn't have been a disruption. The disruption came from the employees and from the other people in there.
The journalist's calm and composed behavior showcases how one can stand up for their rights while engaging in a peaceful dialogue with those who may not fully understand the nuances of the law. The footage serves as an eye-opening portrayal of how people may react when faced with someone exercising their right to film in public spaces. It highlights the importance of understanding and respecting individuals who choose to document and report on public matters, even if it is an uncommon sight in certain locations.
And I wasn't here, so I assumed you didn't go right up to the patrons and right up to them.
No, absolutely not. No, I did a lot of research on how to do this.
They're just not used to that. They could have handled that better.